Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Ask AJ with me, Edward, and the lovely Sam Ashdown.
And me, no Phil.
No Phil today.
No Phil. Where are you, Phil? He's in sunny... I still don't know where he is.
Canary Islands?
I think he's in Tenerife. But I say it differently every time. Tilly's nodding, because for some reason I thought it was Lanzarote. But we've had an amazing time, and Phil unbelievably has switched off.
He has, yeah.
What did we do to him on his first day?
I think you helped that, didn't you? By kicking him out of our team chat. Which he was very angry about, I understand.
And he realised really quickly that he'd been kicked out, but he was not happy.
Which proves why he needed to be kicked out.
Well, I agree. Need to know basis, yeah.
Absolutely.
Apparently he's still got his laptop over there, still doing a bit of work. But
yeah. It's hard to switch off, isn't it?
I think he's ready to come back.
Itching.
He will be itching. He's been there 10 days.
Yeah, it's a long time for Phil.
Yeah. And then he gets back at stupid o'clock on Thursday night and he's still coming back in on Friday morning.
What he might do.
Yeah. No matter what time he got back, he'll still come back on Friday.
So with Phil not being here, we've been out on some valuations.
We're a good tag team.
Without him, yeah.
Not sure what you need, no.
Yeah.
You stay there, Phil. We're fine. Actually, Ashdown Myers has got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, actually, if he came back, it's completely changed.
Your name's
Not
on the
his
door.
anymore.
His fob doesn't work.
Yeah. My car's been changed over to me. Yeah. So we've been out and been at a couple today. I've been to one, you've been to one, but then we've just been to one together.
One what?
House together.
Yeah.
Lovely house, but a bit tricky. Or for me, it'd be a bit tricky.
Tricky to what?
In terms of, what do you mean tricky compared to another
Well, you said the house is tricky.
Well, it's tricky to value.
That's it. It's
So,
not a tricky house.
Yeah, not tricky,
nice
it's a lovely house. Well, it's like tricky. But no, tricky to value in the sense that, and obviously like a lot of the homes to do with, they are very unique.
Yeah.
Of what this one was as well.
And there's quite often a balance sheet. You know, it's got this great thing, but not this great thing.
Yeah.
It's got, you know, views, but not garden. You know, there's usually a trade-off, and this comes down to knowing our buyers really, really well.
Yeah.
To know what kind of trade-off they would accept.
So like with this one, beautiful house, but not a great entrance / location.
Yeah. Location was good.
Yeah.
But position maybe.
Yeah. Definitely the entrance.
Yeah.
Didn't have that wow factor.
Not the...
Once through the gates,
yeah, it did, yeah.
But the kind of surroundings were fantastic.
Well, we sold a house like that a few years ago. I won't say where it is, but it was a very understated house, very underwhelming, with a very, very, very small garden. And we sold it for nearly $1 million. It did have a lake view. It was right on the side of the road, and it was on 3 stories, and it was kind of a similar feel to this one.
Right.
Very modern, and all the bathrooms and everything were absolutely brand spanking new, beautiful. And I think, yeah, people do want a move-inable house. They don't necessarily want loads of gardens and all that, do they?
Yeah. Not many of our buyers want the huge land and the high maintenance of looking after a well-established landscape garden.
Yeah, because it's actually a lot of work, isn't it?
It is. And that's why a lot of our buyers sell. Vendors sell.
It's true, yeah, they do, because they've had enough of their garden. Yeah.
It's too much hard work.
Yeah.
But this one didn't, did it? It just had quite an easy to maintain.
Yes.
Lawns.
Terraces. Place for a hot tub.
Yes, it is.
Lovely.
Waiting to arrive.
Really nice.
Beautiful garage. Also, what was in the garage?
What was in the garage was beautiful. It had my absolute dream car, actually.
A few. Dream cars. So anyway, so we're here today to ask Sam where we would start in valuing a home like this. So Sam's going to just sort of give some input on how we do that.
I think it's all very well to kind of go, okay, finger in the air, instinctively, what would our buyers pay, what's it worth compared to other houses, but actually a really good place to start is price per square foot. And once we know the square foot price or value for an area, and then we know the size of the house, we're doing a calculation that further down the line a surveyor will do anyway. So a surveyor will go in and go, I can't do finger in the air, what I can do is a price per square foot, and that's what they will do. And we know that roughly speaking, Bowness and stores are kind of $450, Windermere $350 to $400, Troutbeck $450, $500, Chapel Style $600, Staveley $250 to $300. We've just been down to Arcombe yesterday, $200 to $250. So you know we already know these prices, and that just gives us a good starting point. You can add and subtract, can't you?
You can, and then you can amend, and you might add on a bit extra if it's got the land, for instance, and obviously do some comparables to other homes depending on what features the house you're valuing has. And it might need a lot of work. It might have a huge square footage, but be complete derelict and in need of work. So then you fluctuate the price.
And also it might be on 4 floors, so you can't really say, well, it's £400 a square foot on every floor, so you have to go, right, we've got 2 main floors, so we'll give those £400 a square foot. Then you're going to go attic, it's not really got proper staircase, so let's go half price for that. And then basement, not head height, let's go half price again for that. So we have got formulas that allow us to give people a really accurate valuation. This particular one was more split level, so even though it was on 3 floors, we would give each floor equal weighting.
Yeah.
And then it's things like what we include. So we include an integral double garage, but not an external detached double garage, and that's because an integral double garage can easily be accommodation at some point in the future.
Converted. And I suppose with this one, it had both, or
It
was
had
allowed to have both, wasn't it? So they could convert the internal garage and then keep the external.
And also, I think an internal integral garage feels a bit more like part of the house anyway. So you walk in from the inside of the house. It was underfloor heated. It was,
underfloor heated garage. That was the first for me.
I've seen a couple of them. We've got nice cars.
They were very nice cars.
Yeah, the one up the road, Colin's house, with all his motorbikes. That's heated.
True. Yeah. So where do we get the average from then?
So it's a little bit of a sort of a research job. In fact, we actually have a research that does this for us, and then we put our own stamp on it. So this is kind of what a spreadsheet might look like. It's actually in black and white, and there's a bit of colour on there to show the house. And what we do is we look at, depending again on lots of other variables, but let's say on average the last 3 years, we look at what's sold in the last 3 years of their price range. So this particular house, which is going to be in the millions, or we would start at say 500,000 and work up from there. And then we would take all the for sale properties and all the sold subject to contract properties. Now a sold property, there's no argument about what that was worth because it's sold. But if it's sold 2 years ago and the market's moved quite a lot, then we have to take that into account. So you're going to have a different average price per square foot for sold as you would do for a for sale, and that would be the case even if the prices hadn't gone up, because there might be a differential between what somebody hopes to get and what they actually get for the house. And therefore the average price per square foot for solds could be 400 and the average price per square foot for on the markets could be 450, and we have to take a view. And you have to say, right, well, do we want to go on the market 450? Has the market moved that much? And then just do some comparables.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we do is we get the information from the property portals like Rightmove. We're lucky in this area actually that almost every single agent uses really good floor plans with the total square footage on it. Most do, but if they don't, where do we get it from? Do you know?
So if we've not got a floor plan with the square footage on, first place I might go is you can get an EPC report.
Yeah.
So you can search, anyone can search for an EPC report.
What is an EPC report?
So it's an energy performance certificate. So it's basically where somebody comes out and measures your energy performance of the house, and when you see it on particulars, you'll see a little grid maybe on the back, with lettering A to E, is it, I think?
F. It's got an F on there as well.
So that's what that's about. But they give you a total estimated square footage.
But they wouldn't have included the garage today.
No.
And they wouldn't include any kind of conservatory or a balcony. You see, I think.
Would you like a balcony?
Well, I would just take a view. If it's got a really big terrace that is partially or fully covered, to me that feels like the square footage of the house.
Yeah, it's livable space, isn't
livable
it?
space,
covered.
table chairs, hot tub, especially if you've got like double bifold doors. So I think that really should be included because it's actually floor space that is in addition to the house. Especially if it's on the first floor, then it literally is, isn't it?
Yeah. But that would give you a good starting point.
Give you a good starting point,
a ballpark.
Usually, if you add about 15% onto, depending on the house, obviously, onto an EPC, you've probably got about the right price. So if you're looking at an EPC to try and work out your square footage, then you probably do have to, if you've got conservatories or any bits sticking out of your house that aren't the main house, you would need to add those on, so do take that into consideration. Also, if there's a detached garage, we've got one at Leighton House, with accommodation above, we wouldn't include the detached garage itself, we would include the accommodation above. So I think that's important as well to remember. So if you're not sure about your square footage, we are really good at estimating square footage.
Yeah, quite good. I mean, another option is you could, because we see a lot of homes, you can quickly compare, can't you? Yes. Because we've seen it, we know one house, well, it's pretty much the same size as that house, and then you can just sort of take that from
Well, we know that double garage is about 300 square feet.
Yeah.
So Phil goes around trying to work out how many double garages are around the house. I can't do that.
Well, you were there the other day, weren't you, doing your little pigeon
I did.
footsteps?
I paced it out. Or you can look at things like paving stones outside. Because a lot of paving stones are just the same kind of, they're a standard size. So you can look at that. They were half-metre ones yesterday. Yeah. So that's an easy one to do. There's lots of ways you can do it, but we can do it for you. So if you want to know what your property is worth on a price per square foot basis, even if you sent us actually a list of the accommodation, I'm usually pretty good at working it out. Because if you've got, say, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, including maybe a couple of en suites, you've got 3 reception rooms, and you've got maybe a double integral garage in this area, that's probably about 3,500 square feet.
I can say 3,500.
Yeah, isn't it? So you can that's a good start. Especially if the master bedroom is above the garage, so you probably are 3,500 square feet, aren't you?
Yeah, and then with the formulas you've got,
yeah,
the average, you can quickly work out a ballpark figure.
So if you said you were in an area that was £300 a square foot, which would probably be Staveley, then you've probably got about £1 million worth of property, roughly speaking.
Roughly.
Yeah. It does help. I think it gives people a benchmark so that they don't feel they're being blindsided by a valuation.
It's a good starting point. But important to come and see all the features, and there are many other aspects, aren't there? So
yes.
What could add or detract from value of the house?
Exactly, yeah. Things like value of the land, the view, potential building plot. We sold Brantbeck, didn't we? That's got potential building plot in it, so we have to factor that in.
Or if you're running it as a holiday let, potential income, and yield it can bring in. That's a factor. So there is a lot to consider, but price per square foot
is a good start. So we're about to go and see a house that is kind of between styles. It's probably 1980s, would you say?
Yeah.
And it's in an amazing place in Bowness. Now they don't want to sell, they're just asking us to give them a valuation, which is absolutely fine. We do this frequently, and that's where we'll start. We'll try and estimate the square foot. We'll times by probably £400 a square foot because it's Bowness, and they've got an actual
build
start
on that, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. So, any questions at all, let us know on 5394 8881 or email edward at
ashdownjones.co.uk or this week Myers and Ashdown@co.uk.
Myers and Ashdown, yes. Ashdown Myers. Got much better onto it.
Yeah, that's good.
Bye.